Monzo as a company has grown headcount by 4 times over the past year. Things that were working when you were a team of 2 or 3 were sort of not working at 20 to 30 people. We were starting to see that velocity of shipping changes into our analytics repository was starting to slow down. The scale of the migration we were talking about here was around 100,000 lines of code, between 30 and 40 people being involved in actually writing the code.
As we were growing into a bigger data team, it kind of made sense that we needed something to tie things together a bit more. And so actually from that perspective, I was really excited for it.
When we were thinking about rolling out DBT, we had to think about empathetically how are analysts going to find this, how are they going to use the tool, what are their skills going into it.
There's always a little bit of fear when people start talking about best practices for software engineering, and if you're not a software engineer, there's sometimes a bit of a worry around that.
And we decided on an approach where we got all of the analysts working on the DBT migration, so they were given models of the old structure and said, okay, here's your collection of models which has been randomly allocated to you. Migrate them to the new way of doing things using DBT. Here's this task. And then also we wrote some documentation, some training docs, and said, before you do any of this migration, go through this training so you're kind of somewhat equipped.
The data engineers did a really, really good job at making sure that we had all of the necessary resources, and they involved us every step of the way.
Of course, there were issues, people didn't understand certain things, there were bugs, all this kind of stuff, but we had a really fast feedback loop, so someone would bring up an issue, we'd fix it, push a change, then it's better for the next person. By the end of the process, it was really, really smooth. What we had were a group of 30 analysts who would all use DBT, who were all comfortable with it, and who could all then continue to build models, extend stuff, continue with their jobs in what I think is I think they think is a more efficient way.
It can seem a bit complicated because it does add a few new concepts to the way we would normally work. Once you get used to using those new concepts, they're really impactful, they're really powerful, and actually they really speed you up.